My favorite creative journaling exercise of all time all has to do with this quote. That's one of my favorites of all time. Remember when you dreamed of being where you are now. And the reason I really want to ground us in this creativity exercise is because we have now entered the final stage, the grounding stage of the map to infinite creativity. And so we've gone all through the heady unmanifested phase where we're working with ideation and strategizing and fantasizing. We've gone through the manifesting stage where we're loving the work and burning through blocks and testing out our voice. And we are coming to the end, my friend, celebrating wins and growing our mission. And so that growth is all about grounding stability. And as an artist and as an entrepreneur, I think we underestimate how important this is and sometimes take it for granted. And that's why I love the quote. Rather than to just keep on jumping into the next dream, we've got to say for a moment, remember when you dreamed of being where you are now. And this has been of special relevance to us lately because about a week ago, we got a letter that said our landlord is asking for our apartment back. So we have lived in this apartment for 12 years. And so something really strange happened. It was both shocking and then I realized how cluttered our life started to get in this apartment, which all relates. I want to use this story to relate it to the root chakra and grounding and this energy center that takes all our high flying writing and artistic ideas and it really brings it on home, literally in this story, home. So, of course, I remember when we got here 12 years ago, and I dreamed of being a mom. I was not a mom at that time. I was new at my teaching job and was already starting to get a little bit burned out, even at that early stage in my career. And what's even more interesting is as soon as I got this notice that says, okay, it's time to shake things up, of course, there was a part of me that was just in pure shock because we have been happy here for 12 years and I've raised my kid here. And so I have a super strong connection to this place. And at the same time, I immediately wanted to start packing stuff up and explore because I have gotten really comfortable here. And one of the first things I did is something funny about me is I have a bulletin board, which is like my vision board. And rather than taking a vision board down ever, I just keep on layering that stuff on. And so literally, I've been pulling back the layers of 12 years of vision boards and what I was thinking for the future. And I found this poem that I must have pasted on the vision board when I first moved here. And it was such a reminder of the beginning of the process. It was about awakening. And so, of course, as you know, I have the map and actually I have the paper version of the map right here. With the map to infinite creativity, I'm going to attach that poem because it was so moving to me at the time. You can sign up in the link below. Let me not get tangled in my language. You can sign up in the link below and you'll get the map I've been showing to infinite creativity, which talks about the various spiritual stages of creativity. And I also include prompts and other really great resources, story structure resources, and now this poem, which is all about the creative process of waking up. And so, long story short, I'm going to bring this to a conclusion in that honestly, in real time, we're apartment shopping. We're looking to buy this place or move to our neighbor's place or move to, you know me, I'm walking all over everywhere, taking down phone numbers. And there's a part that's exciting and there's a part that's destabilizing, which has everything to do with when you get to the end of your process, when you really have established yourself as a creative. It can't all be exciting all the time. You want to embrace the boring, the stabilized and centered part of it, so that there's a part of your work that's explorative, upper chakras explorative, and then there's a part of your work, this is not bad, that is sending out my email every Friday or meeting with my longtime clients who we have a stable relationship and we know one another well, looking back to those books that we worked so hard on, and they created the foundation to what we have now. So another little dichotomy here is that there's the stable side, and then there's the clinging, comfortable side. And just as you don't want to throw everything in the air at once because it's just so overwhelming if you have everything up in the air, when there's one or two things that you want to start this cycle over with again, like I'm doing with the apartment now, where, oh my goodness, this is starting to get a little cluttered. This is starting to get a little boring. I want to try something new. I want to write a new book. And then you bring it back up to the top where you start ideating, you start exploring, you start strategizing and planning all over again. So I promised you a journaling exercise, and that's where I want to get to it. So remember when you dreamed of all the things you have now. So on the grounding side of this, it's so essential not to take the boring parts of your life for granted. As a person who moved all the way over here to Colombia, and I can only imagine people who don't live in Colombia perhaps wonder what it's like to live here. I'll paste in kind of a picture. The thing we loved about this apartment is it's really nice. It's spacious. It has a view of the city skyline and the mountains. It has a pool and a gym and just fun different things. And so it's a nice life here where we live. And at the same time, so we don't take for granted the things we have and we appreciate them. So that's first. What is it that 10 years ago, 5 years ago, you dreamed of having that you do have now? Really appreciating those things can teach you how to do it for the things that you don't have yet, that you still want, that you've always wanted, or that you're just starting to realize you want. One more time with that journal question. Remember what you used to dream of that you have now. I think I've rephrased that a couple times, but just start to list those and what did they teach you? How do you appreciate them so you don't take them for granted? Now, another good root chakra journaling question is, where has your life gotten a little too comfortable? Where has your life started to get cluttered because you're clinging to things that you don't need anymore? This apartment is full of that stuff, 12 years of that stuff. And so, what are you clinging to that's not serving you anymore? What are you clinging to that's not serving you anymore? Where's the clutter, in other words? That's the second journal question. And then the third journal question is, what's the priority? Because if there are certain things that need to be renewed, if you could just renew one thing, what would you do first? And that just focuses us because, of course, when we decide, I don't like any of this, I want to change everything, I'm going to do everything at once. It's so much easier to focus in and take one thing at a time. So there's that beautiful grounding force of the root chakra. And then there's also the renewal, and where do you want to start this creative process over again? So you can sign up for the Map to Infinite Creativity. And I have also put other resources in here for your creative journey. And, some pictures of my life here. I've lived for 15 years in Colombia. Yeah, 2009. And yeah, so big changes coming. So much love. And every single Friday, I do have these creative classes to keep you going on your journey. So take some time for your book this weekend. Much love.